We've seen nothing, no help, no anything.
It's been nearly a year after a deadly tornado tears through the tiny town of Glenallen, Missouri. So why are residents still waiting for help when there's money in the bank set aside just for them? Good evening, everyone. It's a question tornado victims want answered. After sharing their frustrations with each other on social media, they reached out to us. Kathy Sweeney got their answer and details on a new effort to get them some help. But first, a look at what they're facing right now.
It's been very rough. We've had no help. We've called, and all we get's a run around.
Brenda Riddle is frustrated. While two men clear out what's left of her shed out back, I found her in her living room, still waiting for help. Everything
that we have had to replace, we've had to do out of our own pocket, and that's not easy when you live on a fixed income, you know. Across town, I caught up with a group of ladies led by Jamie Wells Brotherton.
The biggest concern is for most of my neighbors. It's been almost a year now, and one of my neighbors is a disabled veteran, and he literally just got a roof 3 weeks ago due to a church in Jackson that was, they helped him out.
Stacy, tell me where you and your family are at nearly a year after the tornado.
Still in my daughter's basement because there's no money to help.
But there is money, nearly $200,000, according to the Long-Term Recovery Committee, created just weeks after the tornado to help residents get back on their feet. The committee handles the money, but receiving it falls to Catholic Charities. The nonprofit's acting as case manager, working with victims to determine their loss. The chief regional officer tells me since the tornado hit, they've closed 6 cases, distributing a little more than $8,000. Volunteers collected more than $55,000 in one day when hundreds of side-by-side riders gathered at Twin Bridges Park back on April 29th of last year. I reached out to organizers Chris Crowley and Danny Gramlich about the event and that money still sitting in the bank.
And when the people come out here, you could feel the electricity. You could feel that they cared, that what they were doing were helping the people of this community.
Everybody worked really hard on this thing to make this thing successful in a short period of time, and this money was all supposed to go to the tornado victims.
As the one-year anniversary of the tornado draws near, frustrated Glenallen residents took to social media to ask whatever happened to all that donated money. They're also sharing stories about troubles getting the 3 bids Catholic Charities requires to move their property damage cases forward.
We've called Catholic Charities over and over and over, and all we get's a run around. We know we're working on it. We'll call you back. They never do.
Just where's the help that they've been promising? That's what I want to know.
We called Catholic Charities and did get a response. In fact, Kathy sat down this afternoon with its chief regional officer and a member of the Long-Term Recovery Committee to find out why it's taking so long to get help in Glenallen.
Our intent is to help everyone that we can through this process, and it's very difficult. It can be long, and it can be frustrating.
Jeremy Rowland serves as the chief regional officer for Catholic Charities. Tornado victims I spoke to in Glenallen say Rowland's organization won't return their calls, or they're being told they're not getting help.
It's been nearly a year, 6 cases closed so far. Yes. Should you be further along? Is that a satisfactory number? Help me understand.
Well, obviously it's not satisfactory. We'd like to be able to help everyone already, and typically it would go a little faster than this, but long-term recovery is long-term.
Sitting next to Rowland, Catholic Charities Executive Director Ken Palmero.
Ken, is it tough to hear folks upset at your organization?
Yes, it is. It's very upsetting to us. We try to do our best when it comes to providing services.
Both Rowland and Palmero say it's their organization's job to make sure the money donated for tornado relief does not end up in the wrong hands.
There are many, many hoops, unfortunately, to go through to make sure that we are good stewards of what we present to the Long-Term Recovery Committee to give them guidance on how to spend the money down.
Also at this table, Nicole Hahn with the East Missouri Action Agency. She serves on the Long-Term Recovery Committee, the group that issues checks directly to contractors for approved repairs. I asked her specifically about the $55,000 raised from that side-by-side fundraiser.
The group of people who put that fundraiser on, the side-by-side fundraiser that you're speaking of, they felt like they were not able to make the decisions or have the information to make the decisions to fairly distribute that money, and they brought that to the Long-Term Recovery Committee.
But did they know then it was going to take almost a year and only 6 people were going to get a tiny portion of that $55,000?
From my understanding from the chair of the committee is that when that interaction happened, when that donation was made, it was made explicitly clear to the donor who donated that $50,000+ that it was a long-term recovery effort.
Event organizer Danny Gramlich handed over that check and tells me it was his understanding the money would be used for tornado victims' immediate needs.
Every member of the committee shares frustration and concern because we had hoped to really help people a lot faster than we've been able to due to just different circumstances, obstacles, and of course the flood that happened in August.
Both Han and Roland say that devastating second natural disaster put an immediate halt to their tornado recovery work. Then the USDA announced a buyout program impacting some 55 homes. Roland tells me since the committee put a priority on property, Catholic Charities has to make sure no money goes to a home that will later be demolished.
Can you understand why people are upset?
I totally understand why they'd be upset, and I understand that this is a long and frustrating process, but unfortunately there's not a quick fix.
But there will be a new approach. The East Missouri Action Agency is now partnering with Catholic Charities to help speed up the recovery process. The agency will bring its mobile unit back to Glenallen on March 25th and offer outreach from its office in Marble Hill. Carrie McCrory is the agency's executive director.
I truly believe it will speed up the process because we are going to have additional staff there that will be able to take care of all of those intake assessments, finding out what their needs are, finding out where they are in the process, and just working with Catholic Charities to ensure that those cases are brought to the committee.
Everyone here believes getting more people into Glenallen to work directly with tornado victims will make a big difference. The question is, will residents see a change to a system that up until now focused on screening them, collecting bids, and protecting donated money rather than spending it?
You guys are thinking of all these ways not to misspend the money,
Right.
but in the meantime, you're not spending any of the money.
Right, and I understand, I know that's no consolation to those folks. All I can say is that we really are doing the very best we can to ensure the money makes it where it's going to do the most good and to the people that need it the most.
Can you assure them things are going to get better?
I can tell you that the people who are in that committee, their heart is with the community. We hate that it took even this long, but our goal is that we wrap this up as quickly as we possibly can.
The East Missouri Action Agency and Catholic Charities will host a public meeting early next month to hear from Boullinger County residents still waiting for tornado assistance. It's set for April 3rd from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Boullinger County Health Department in Marble Hill. The two organizations are also meeting tomorrow as this new partnership begins. So look for continuing coverage tomorrow on Heartland News at 5.